name's Deb Taylor and I'm the Clinic Director at NatMed, and I'd like to talk to you today about the importance of testing your environment for water damage and mould if you have chronic inflammatory response syndrome or CIRS. So I had a patient recently come in after finally paying for his environment to be tested, and it came back that he did have quite a high level of mould that would be contributing to his symptoms. If you click down below, there'll be a link to that actual report that you can have a look at. And so that finally motivated him, after over 11 months of treatment, to move out of his brother's home where he had been residing and stay pretty much exclusively in his own top level brand new apartment. And within a month his VCS improved dramatically. Okay, so here we have a sample of a VCS, or a visual contrast sensitivity test. This was a test developed by the American military to test neuroinflammation. And this is typical of a patient. I think this one was done at home and this one was done here in the correct lighting, which is really important to have a correct baseline. And you can see here we've got a score of 20. And then we didn't make a huge amount of improvement between the 29th of March and the 5th of October. And then we started to see a really nice improvement. So this is where this patient's really starting to tolerate the binder, the CSM, and really getting rid of mould fragments. But it's during this phase that I really wasn't happy. If you see the length of time, that's October 1 year to June the following year. And that's not a huge improvement to be seeing, especially when you're on an expensive protocol like the CSM and all of the CAM-related products for replacing fats, etc. And so I knew that his environment was problematic. I eventually talked this patient into getting his environment tested, and you can see this is where he's moved out of that environment, and he is now scoring over 35, which is a negative VCS, meaning that he's cleared the VCS and the biotoxins are pretty much out of his system. I understand that moving home or testing your environment is really overwhelming and daunting, but for $2,000 or thereabouts, you can get a really effective assessment done and ultimately change your life. So as you can see from Matt's VCS, he has now passed the visual contrast sensitivity test. He is scoring less than 6 on the CIRS questionnaire. And he now has the energy to get up and socialise, and he's not quite back at work, but he will be shortly. What we're dealing with next with this patient is the emotional challenge that he has, associating himself as a sick person. Now he's well, and I understand that because that was part of my chronic fatigue journey as well. When you've been sick for so long, I was sick for 3 years, Matt was sick for 5 years. You tend to identify yourself then as a sick person, and it takes a while for the brain to catch up. It's like a fat person when they lose, from 130 kilos down to 70 kilos, they still will buy size 20 clothing, not realising that they're now a size 12 or 14. So I can't stress enough, book a free scope with one of the building biologists that we've recommended, have a chat, get them over, throw the money at getting the building assessed, because whilst you're living in mould, you cannot incrementally improve. You will improve considerably, 30 to 50% on the prescription that we will give you, but to get that other 50% to resolution and cure, you need to be in a mould-free environment. Down below are a couple of links to building biologists, the sample VCS that I've shown you on the video today, and a sample building biology report that will cost you $1,900 to $2,000.